Breweries. Businesses that make and sell beer. The commercial brewing of beer has taken place since at least 2500 BC and was initially a cottage industry, with production taking place at home. By the 9th century, monasteries and farms would produce beer on a larger scale, selling the excess, and by the 11th and 12th centuries larger, dedicated breweries with 8 to 10 workers were being built. With so much history that comes with some of these establishments, it should come as no surprise that some are haunted. Join us, as we look at some of the most haunted breweries in the U.S. For our first haunted brewery, Moon River Brewing Company. Located in Savannah, Georgia, the building that houses the Moon River Brewing Company was built in 1821 by Eleazar Early. It was first used as the city hotel, before being used as a hospital during Savannah's numerous yellow fever outbreaks. Hundreds of people, mostly children, reportedly died on the upper floors of the building during these outbreaks. After sitting vacant for 20 years, it was purchased in 1995. The Moon River Brewing Company came about just a few years later. And that is when the ghost stories started. The most famous ghost at the Moon River Brewing Company, the one the staff calls Toby, is seen in the basement, moving silently through the shadows. On the second floor of the brewing company, the famous shooting of James Stark took place. Shot by a town physician, Philip Mines, Stark was killed on the staircase. Stark's ghost is said to roam the main floor of the Moon River Brewing Company to this day. Up next, Old Town Pizza and Brewing. Old Town Pizza and Brewing opened its doors in 1973, but the history of the building goes all the way back to 1880, when the Merchant Hotel was built here. The Shanghai tunnels run right underneath the building, and prostitution was said to be a common practice at the hotel. It's said that there's also a ghost named Nina who has been here for more than 100 years. Nina was one of the prostitutes who worked at the Merchant Hotel. She had been sold as a sex slave, and was living a life of misery at the hotel when she was contacted by missionaries who sought to help her escape. Nina exchanged information about her captors with the missionaries, and she soon disappeared from the hotel. But not long afterward, her body was found at the bottom of the elevator shaft. Guests report seeing Nina in various parts of the pizzeria, but her presence is mostly felt in the back room, which shares a wall with the old elevator shaft. Her name is carved into the brick here, and some guests have reported seeing a woman in a black dress in the dining room, who disappears into thin air. Up next, the Phoenix Brewing Company. The Phoenix Brewing Company was founded by local beer enthusiasts of Ohio, looking to bring a craft beer revival to Mansfield. The brewery is located in the former Schroer Mortuary and Funeral Home at 131 North Diamond Street. The place was once filled with embalming fluid and dead bodies. If that wasn't creepy enough, one of the former owners committed suicide in the chapel in the early 1930s, and there's talk of the red brick building being haunted by this entity. Guests and staff report seeing a shadow figure moving about the brewery. For our fourth entry, Wolfden Brewing Company. Wolfden Brewing Company resides in a building built in 1851 and is often described as the most haunted brewery in Illinois. Weird incidents happen on a weekly basis, such as batteries draining quickly, magnets flying off the wall, shadowy figures, coughing and footsteps. While sorting through historical documents and existing paperwork on the property, owners Katie and Christoph Wolf were able to decipher that a woman had fallen into a well in the backyard and died, along with another man named Jack, who may have passed on the property during either the Civil or Black Hawk Wars. Could these two be the cause of all the weird incidents? For our next entry, the Jailhouse Craft Beer Bar. In the 1880s, the town of Buena Vista, Colorado converted some stables that were on East Main Street into a temporary jail. This space would later become the Jailhouse Craft Beer Bar. Staff and patrons have reported to experience hauntings late in the night. Some of the strange oddities include bartenders experiencing ghostly visions, bar stools being pulled out, security cameras catching a hat jumping off a hanger, and a guest with service dogs noticing ghost-like vibes at a certain area of the bar. The bar has since been closed, and the owners, Sarah and Shane Stewart, are in the process of relocating to a new location. Could the hauntings have something to do with their decision to move? For our next haunted brewery, Winecoop Brewery. Winecoop Brewery is placed in a 125-year-old building in downtown Denver, Colorado. It is said that harmless ghosts frequent the basement and are most likely to be observed in the restrooms there. Though the building lacks prohibition chicanery, it certainly doesn't lack in spirits. Strange noises, apparitions, and ethereal wandering hands haunt those who venture into the basement. Many men have claimed to feel a brush behind the back of their legs as they use the urinals. Ghosts make their way upstairs too, where staff have seen shadows darting across the room. The main brewery floor also has its share of hauntings, namely from the ghost of a mystery lady dressed in red. For our final entry, Spice Trade Brewing. Spice Trade Brewing Company has been brewing award-winning beer since 2008. Formerly Yak and Yeti Brewpub, Spice Trade is now a stand-alone brewery brewing out of Yak and Yeti Restaurant in Arvada. The restaurant and brewery are said to be haunted by former owner Cora, who died falling down the stairs in the 1940s. Guests and staff have reported seeing her ghostly apparition from time to time. So, what did you think of the haunted breweries from this video? Has anyone ever been to any of these? What about other haunted breweries? Drop a comment and let me know. Thank you for watching.